Okay, I want to talk a little bit about why I believe so much in therapy. Because sometimes I have clients come into me and they say, you know, Susan, why are you so focused on childhood? And I'll tell you, if I felt there was another way to do it, and sometimes there is another way to do it. Sometimes the issues are not in childhood. Sometimes the issues are closer to the present day. And so we can work that way. But sometimes the issues are in childhood. And that's really where I go, because that's really where the effectiveness is. You know, and I'm really about solving the problem as quickly as possible and being the most effective therapist I can be. So that's part of the reason that I believe in therapy versus some other forms of treatment out there. You know, sometimes it really is about childhood, and these things get laid down that we simply cannot change until we process them, until we go back and look at them in a new way with someone who has some expertise in that area. But once we look at those things and process those things, so many new ways of living become possible. So many new habits become sort of much more possible than before, you know. And really, from what I've seen, I really haven't seen anything more powerful than that, you know. Another reason why I really believe in therapy is that a lot of us growing up, not all of us, but a lot of us, didn't get enough of that just unconditional positive attention, that unconditional support for who we are and what we're about, you know. And therapy, I think, gives us that. You know, it gives us a person who listens, who likes us no matter what, and ideally someone who likes us even though we share our weaknesses, our frailties, our vulnerabilities, our failures, the things we're ashamed of, the things we're embarrassed about, and we still get looked at like we're a worthwhile person. We still get looked at like we can achieve our dreams. I think that's really powerful. I think it emboldens us in ways that some of us have never experienced before. I think also in this society, so much of the time we're being talked at, we're being told what to do, we're being bombarded with things. We don't often have a chance to go inside ourselves and find out who we are, and often we don't get listened to. We get listened to just enough to be told something or to be sold something. And therapy is so wonderful because it allows us to be listened to. And some of us really need to talk and just be heard. And a lot of us, well, I think all of us, when we talk, we get to know ourselves better. We understand ourselves better, and I think that's really invaluable. When you're talking to a therapist, you're talking to someone who's really trying to be unjudgmental, who's really trying to create a space where you can be the best person you are, and who also knows about change and growth and progress, so can help you with those things. In any conversation, when we're talking to someone, it's like a circle. You know, they make possible certain things, and then we make possible certain things. And I think that when you're talking to a therapist, you're talking to someone who specializes in making things possible. Finally, I think what's really powerful about therapy is that it can help us assess how we're thinking, how we're processing information, how we're reacting to the events of our lives. And that's a hard thing to do. I mean, we've really got to trust the person who's going to crawl in our heads and evaluate how we're thinking. But I think ultimately the mind can be a real limiting factor. It can be like a prison. It can have some really dingy furniture, and the therapist can help us change that furniture out, and that alone just creates a whole new life. So that's part of the reason I think therapy is really powerful and why I spend my life doing it. Thanks.